Hi there everybody, this is Rimcast. Welcome again to my survival server. This is my Iron Golem farm. Today I'm going to show you around my farm, and we are also going to go through the steps to activate an all-new Iron Golem farm immediately below to double my productivity and output. This Iron Golem farm is a basic Iron Golem farm, and what I mean by basic Iron Golem farm is it does not have any redstone circuitry in it. It is a single village. The village is comprised of a series of doors. I have 48 doors. Turns out to be the case. 48 doors can generate for you 16 villagers. And back in the day, 16 villagers was what you needed to have a functioning Iron Golem farm. However, it turns out that is now outdated. You only need 10 villagers. So our new Iron Golem farm below will have fewer doors and can support only 10 villagers. In the middle of all the ribbing that I've added here that all look like pickaxes, I did that just for show, but in the middle I have a large water conduit. Now the water conduit is entirely unnecessary. Iron golems do not drown and they do not take fall damage. But I've left the water conduit because I found there was an unintended bonus. Down in the lower levels of the Iron Golem farm, squids will spawn, and they'll try to exit the water by moving out onto the ribs where they suffocate and die. So this farm collects for me not just iron, and not just the poppies from the Iron Golems, but also black ink sacs. 3 products, 1 AFK farm. Total win for me. Let me take you over to see the lower levels of the Iron Golem farm and where we collect the iron. I'm going to take a dive off this ladder here. Try not to die. That was close. And bounce. Alright, this is the collection chamber for the Iron Golem farm. The Iron Golems fall into this large bucket. The 2 white wings on the side of the bucket each contain the lava blade. The lava blade reaches into the chamber, and the Iron Golems fall into the lava and die. Their iron and their parts all land in this chest due to buffers. So you can see I'm collecting loads of iron and red poppies and black ink sacs. I'm simply going to have to come up with a project that uses a lot of red and black, because, well, I'm getting it for free. Here we are in one of the inner chambers of the lower Iron Golem farm. I thought it'd be great to show you the inside of this before we build the village so you can see how it's going to work. This large chamber, like the level below, will be filled with flowing water that bring the Iron Golems to the middle and drop them into the lava blades below. Around the sides, I've got 4 chambers that the villagers will live in. Once we get some villagers in here, we'll breed them until there are 10. Put them in the chamber, and then we'll seal them all over Cask of Amontillado style, for those of you Edgar Allan Poe lovers. Oh, did you see that? That was an Iron Golem. Poor little fella. Thanks for the iron. Anyway, so one of our tasks today will be to get villagers in this room. Now, it happens to be the case that nearby I have a zombie spawner. I use the zombie spawner to collect zombie villagers and cure them, and that is my source for villagers. I could travel out to any one of the numerous villages in my world and send them back into this area by rail, but I find that I vastly prefer the ability to just create one close to home and make a short rail that bring them into the chamber. Now, what I'm hoping, what I hope, is that this chamber of water is enough to break the damage from a fall from way up above. We'll build a plank, we'll send the villagers down, hopefully they'll splash in the water, and the water will push them into the chamber where they will commingle and breed and generate for us a Iron Golem spawning village. Well, without further ado, let's go see the zombies. I was on my way to Zombie Rehab and realized I didn't quite have everything I needed in order to cure a zombie. In order to cure a zombie villager, you are going to need a splash potion of weakness, and you are going to need a golden apple, the weak variety. So let me show you real quick how to make those. To make a splash potion of weakness, you need a potion stand, so you'll have to visit the nether and get some blaze rods to build potion stands. And you're going to need a fermented spider eye, and a little bit of gunpowder. Let's show you how all this goes. First off, we are going to take a bit of sugar cane and craft a block of sugar. Now that we've got some sugar, we'll take a spider eye, a mushroom, and a little bit of sugar to get a fermented spider eye. This is the first ingredient for our potion. So let's hook up, get that a-bubbling. While that's bubbling, let me show you how to make it. A golden apple, we do that by taking an apple and arranging a row of gold bars around it, and that gives us gold apples. I've made 2 because I'm going to cure 2 villagers. Let's go back and check our potion. We are done brewing. We now have a potion of weakness, but in order to make it a throwable potion of weakness, we add gunpowder. Adding gunpowder to a potion makes it a splash potion. Once this is done, we'll have an additional splash potion of weakness that we can add to the one I've already made, and we'll go cure us a villager. Welcome to my Zombie Rehab Center. This cute little cottage in the wood takes zombies and turns them into the cute, cuddly villagers that we all adore. Let me take you inside and show you how this thing works. In this area, I have 3 elevators. The one on the left is a minecart elevator, which is the fastest elevator I know of, short of using ender pearls. And that's how I get out of the rehab center. This elevator on the right is an alternating water, dry, water, dry, water, dry tower, which is used to get the mobs out of the zombie rehab center. And the last elevator is my down elevator, which is a straight chute ending in a few vines that break our fall. Welcome to the depths of the rehab center. On the other side of this wall is a zombie dungeon, generating zombies because it's completely dark in there. The ground is covered in water, which has a current pushing the zombies into the corner. Here you can see I have a sticky piston that is obstructing the exit to that chamber. If I open the door, you'll start seeing zombies come through. The zombies are carried over into this water dry tower, raised up, pushed over the top, and dropped down so that a single strike from a stone sword could kill them. If I want a zombie to escape, I can throw the switch. Okay, this was an interesting problem that I faced. It was the issue of the jockeys. I didn't know quite what to do with them until I made this opening where I could use a sort of... Oh, you got the chicken, you dirty little zombie. I made the door, or a gap, so that I could kill the chicken from this corner. Otherwise, they'd plug up the system. Alright, this time we have it. A zombie villager, all alone. The trap is closed, so no more monsters are going to come through. We're going to give him a quick splash potion of weakness. Pop, boom. And a golden apple. Now, upon doing this, the zombie villager will sit there and wiggle for some time. And this will take about 3 minutes. I'll let this happen off camera, but when it's all done, he'll turn into one bona fide villager, at which point it'll be safe to throw this switch and let him out of the trap. Oh, there he is. He's all cured. What did we get? Oh, we still got a cleric. I love clerics. You can give him rotten flesh for emeralds. This is brilliant. We'll let him out, trade with him a bunch of rotten flesh, and then we'll make another villager. Be back in a bit. Well, you know, sometimes a fella changes his mind. After getting a cleric villager who could turn all of the products we get out of a zombie farm into emeralds, into glowstone, into lapis lazuli, I knew I couldn't just turn this guy into your typical Iron Golem farm dweller. So we've made a little booth outside of Zombie Rehab and given him a nice little home where we can go trade with him all of our zombie-related goods. My girls have named him Mr. Niceypants, and something's hitting me. Oh my goodness. We're going to have to put some walls up to protect Mr. Niceypants. That was totally uncool. Alright, Mr. Niceypants, never fear. We're going to make a nice house out of this. Okay, well, we'll be back in a bit. I've got to go make some more golden apples and got to make sure that Mr. Niceypants has the defenses that'll let him live to a ripe old age. Wait a second. He's already old. Oh, there we go. Mr. Niceypants has a new, safer establishment. We've got the half-slab door that creepers and skeletons and zombies will not go through. So even if I've failed to illuminate the hallway well enough to keep anything from spawning, the only thing coming in here is spiders. And I think Mr. Niceypants is pretty safe from spiders in his little hole. Anyhow, great that we have now a resource to turn all of that zombie flesh into something more useful. Oh, there we go. There's a zombie villager. Yeah, we've got a zombie villager.
Up there, on top of that one bed on the bottom.
Voices you hear in the background are my girls. We're gonna cure the zombie villager together. Alright, there we have him. Let's see what kind of a villager we got. Oh, he's a fisherman. You can trade string for emeralds. Boy, he'd be real great to have by the spider farm. Coal for emeralds. I like coal too much to trade it for emeralds. Fish for cooked fish. Okay. And that's it for starters. Alright, well, let's let him out. You'll make a great Iron Golem farm worker. Hop on out, my friend, and let's see. Let's get him pushed off into the mob elevator so that he'll be ready and waiting for us to take to the Iron Golem farm. All we have to do is bully him into the water. You're a fisherman. You like water. There you go. And up he goes. He'll be waiting for us in the rehab house up top. Well, there we have him. This is our latest villager, and we'll check out who he is. Oh, he's a librarian. Paper for emeralds, and emeralds and books for enchanted books. Very cool, but he will fulfill the far more important role of helping us get iron. We are back at Zombie Rehab. Both of our new rehabilitated zombies are ready and waiting their new home. Let me show you a little bit of what we have in store. I've got this rail track coming out of rehab. If we follow the rail, this is just a temporary thing. We'll tear the rail down when we're done. But right now, the rail comes to the plank. And the plank is aimed with a hole neatly over the water for that container. And my hope is that that water will keep them alive. Well, let's find out. Only one way to find out. So I've got two rail cars. We're going to have one for the mob and one for me. We'll have to move them one at a time. Now, over important places on the road, I've put a fence over the rail track. Cool thing about the fence is that the mob can pass through when in a rail car, but the mob cannot pass through all on their own. So that leaves them relatively safe. Probably safe against everything except baby zombies. So we'll push that rail car inside. And give it a shove out. Now I've got a rail cart for myself. I'll go follow him. Good bump here. There you go. Atta kid. Sometimes if they bump you just wrong, you'll go backwards. Okay. We have him on the plank. Give him a push, and hope he survives. He looks very much alive. Yay. Let's do this one more time with our fisherman. We'll be good to go. We're here by our finished cactus farm, mostly because I've stopped by the wheat farm. I couldn't figure out, for the longest time when I first built my Iron Golem farm in this world, why my villagers were not making new villagers. And it turns out that there's a new mechanic for dealing with villagers getting in the mood, if you will, for making new villagers. And you can get them in the mood by doing any of a couple of things. One would be to trade with them, and another would be to feed them. And if they have enough bread in their inventory, they will breed. So we're going to come up here, make a whole bunch of bread, and take it down, hand it to the villagers, and before long we'll have 10 villagers. I'll finish the rest of this offline and see you in a bit. And here we are in the Iron Golem spawner, and there's our villagers, not in the mood to do anything new villager worthy. But what we can do is throw some bread their way, and they'll pick it up. You'll see that bread disappear. You might even watch him throw some of the bread to his neighbor. They'll balance each other out, so you don't actually have to be too particularly careful to make sure that one person gets all the bread. Anyhow, last time I did this, it didn't seem like they got mating right this second. Maybe they don't like being watched in the act. So we'll just let them do their thing and come back in a little bit. Now there's something that I have to laugh about. Little baby librarian is still old. Ha! Alright, boys, keep it up. Alright, we are back at the Iron Golem farm. It's been some time. To be honest, I had trouble getting the population of the village up to the level it needed to be. One of the problems I was having was that the baby villagers would glitch through my half-slab floor. I found it peculiar because I didn't have that problem when I did it in the layer above, and the design was more or less the same. I don't know, maybe I'll have to go see if I did something different. But we should have 10 villagers by now, and hopefully... Oh, there we have it. An Iron Golem. Alright, we have a complete and functional Iron Golem farm with a population of villagers on each side. Last thing we need to do is seal in the villagers so that they are permanently safe, and then build the water canal so that this Iron Golem will make it to his lovely fiery Iron Golem house below. At last, it's just us and the Iron Golem. We're going to build the water canals now. I'll show you the pattern that I use. In order to prevent the entire layer from becoming an infinite water source, we start 3 blocks away from the corner. 1, 2, 3, and I'll place a water block. Now, I only brought 2 waters with me, so I'm going to depend on creating an infinite water source in order to refresh. So I'll count 1, 2 away from the original and drop 1. Now the middle can refresh my bucket as many times as I want. I'll continue this pattern, moving across until I get to the 3rd from the last spot. There we have it. Now, in order to do the corner, I will place the water 1 block higher. And then count out 1, 2, 3. And begin moving the water this way. Hey, Mr. Iron Golem. You ready for your lava bath? And hi. Alright, this chamber is all finished. The Iron Golem farm is now fully functional and AFK. We'll just escape out our hatch, seal off the door, and call it good. And here we are, back where we began, the Iron Golem farm, operating at twice the efficiency now that it was operating at before. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, favorite, and or subscribe. And stay tuned. I've got a new video coming up for Halloween. Hope you'll enjoy it, and keep Minecrafting.